Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Sonic Blueprint podcast. I am Noah Martin, and this is
Ian Dodge.
And we are contractors who love to yap about making music. And the reason we call ourselves contractors is because with building blueprints and making blueprints, there's a creator of that blueprint, and they're called contractors. Or I actually heard somebody say, I was talking to somebody earlier this week, and they said an architect would be a better word. So we could, if we continue this podcast, call ourselves architects instead of contractors.
Yeah. Which actually, technically, I think architects are the ones that make the blueprints.
Yeah, and
contractors are the ones that build it.
Yeah, they're the ones in charge of the construction site. The architects make the blueprint.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we are architects who just love to yap about our experiences and our love of making music. You can find us on YouTube and Spotify at the Sonic Blueprint. And yeah.
Yeah.
So today we are going to do an interview style thing, which is kind of what every episode has been, just because there's two of us. And last week I more interviewed him with the guitar stuff, asking him about his experience. Today he is going to ask me about piano. Yeah, that's my cup of tea, and so we're gonna talk about that today.
Yeah. So Noah,
Yes.
how did you first get into piano?
How I got into piano was, interestingly enough, in this room.
How old were you, and how, I should say?
Okay, so first off, I guess first started playing piano.
Sorry.
When I was in 7th grade, I was given the Furry Lease sheet music because the pianist. Nope, it wasn't the pianist. It was basically the secretary of the choir director of my middle school and high school. She and I had a good friendship. I got along with her and the choir director and the pianist for the choir. Got along with all of them great, and so she's like, I want you to learn this song. And she gave me the sheet music to Furry Lease, and I learned the first page pretty quickly. But that was the only ever experience I had with piano. Didn't really want to explore it because I wasn't really I wasn't really into trying to learn like how to play piano. Fast forward to my freshman year here, I'd already fallen in love with music. I'd already been in band and choir for years and years. And vocal lessons, piano lessons, and guitar lessons were 3 things that were here that I had to do. And as I've said in previous episodes, I fell in love with, or I thought I was going to fall in love with guitar. Really, I picked it up in high school, was learning a little bit, learned one song, and really thought I was going to fall in love with it. Didn't really have the motivation for it, though. But as soon as I stepped into this room, this podcast room, was the office for Susan Lincoln, who was the piano teacher at the time. She had a grand piano in here, and we sat in here, and I played. It may have been a baby grand, because I don't think a grand would fit in here, but it'd be very tight. So she had a baby grand sitting in here. I learned to play on that. She was a classical trainer, so she trained people how to play classically. And then Mark Proctor became the piano teacher, and he teaches with more contemporary. So like he'll teach you classically, but he'll also teach you how to play for a worship context, like worship band. And I really fell in love with that. The classical was very, very strict, have to play this way. That's not even my personality. I'm not a strict person. I'm not strict to these rules of this thing. It is improv. I'm a very improv-minded person. And so that's why I play by ear. I sat down at the piano yesterday while I was in my hometown at my home church and just settled with a key, typically the key of A, love playing that key, and sat down and just played in that key. Whatever felt
Mhm.
right to me, whatever melodically worked, whatever rhythm worked. It was great. You good?
Yeah.
Okay. Um but yeah, so that's how I fell in love with it, and I guess technically started whenever I was in middle school, but really got into it whenever I got to college.
Okay.
So I've only been playing for 4 years ish.
So, can you explain what the difference is of like being classically trained versus
Yeah. So
contemporary?
in a church context, the classically trained and the contemporary trained would be the classically trained would be the person playing the piano for the hymns,
Mm.
and like they're playing like all the different parts, all of that. The contemporary uh is you going from a chord sheet um and phrasing based off of what they're playing there. A very beginner uh contemporary player will literally just play the chords and nothing else.
Mm-hmm.
I would say I'm an amateur. I'm not super skilled by any means, but um, being not being classically trained, I still have rhythms that I'm not familiar with and I don't feel in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll phrase to the neck. I'll like phrase, which is to like play a little bit outside of the chord, towards the next chord.
Like go through a scale.
Yeah. Um, or really just play a combination of notes within the key
Mm.
that work really well flowing into the whatever the next chord is.
Okay.
So, for example, when I play the song Promises, like, God of Abraham, you're the
Yeah.
God of covenant, I start that song with the Narnia theme.
Mm.
And but because it's a different time signature, I because I think it's a 4/4 or something like that, and so it's dun 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 dun, 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 however that goes.
Mm-hmm.
But I do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Da 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 da.
That follows the vocal melody of the chorus quite well.
Yeah, it and that's what I heard whenever I was playing through Promises.
Mm-hmm.
With the chord sheet, I was like, how can I spice this up? Because I love the song, and so I
Mhm.
want to practice it more. And so I added that in, and I was like, whoa, that actually really works well.
Yeah.
But it also there's a song, I don't know what the song is, but every time I play Promises now, this song gets stuck in my head because it's like very similar. It's da 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 da, holy,
Oh, what is
yeah.
that song?
I'm trying to remember.
I know what you're talking about. I can't tell you what the name is.
Yeah, I can never think of it, but that part of the song gets
Yeah.
stuck in my head. Um, but yeah, so that is an example of I heard the Narnia theme in my head and added that in because it flowed really nicely into the song
Mm-hmm.
after I adjusted a couple things.
Yeah.
So that is it. What a contemporary player will do. A classically trained player will, if they just want to stick to that instead of translating that, like Katie Bressler does. She does really good at
Yeah.
it. Matthew Newman does really good at it. Both of them were classically trained, and now they're applying that to this, making phrasing so much easier. But the way that I learned how to phrase was just playing the chords, but then playing scales to get the quickness and dexterity
Mhm.
and the stretching and all of that familiar with my hands. And I mainly do that with my right hand. Classically
Mm.
trained will do a lot with both of their hands. I can't do very much with my left hand.
Okay.
I play octave bass notes.
Mm.
So like G to G,
Yeah.
just those two notes on the bass line, and then I phrase with my right hand. I'm trying to get better at that, but it's gonna take more time than I have right now.
Yeah.
More motivation and more time than I have right now.
Yeah.
But a classically trained is the people that play off of sheet music. Like they super brilliant,
Mhm.
super talented, super intelligent. Just being able to read sheet music in that way, I can, but not on piano yet.
Yeah.
I can with trumpet, I can with French horn, I can vocally. I can read sheet music like that. But it's harder for me to read it and translate it to piano
Mhm.
because it's technically how my first semester I was trained, but I didn't want to learn that way anymore.
Yeah.
So when Mark stepped in, I really wanted to learn that way. I struggle with sheet music on learning a song sheet music wise. I don't struggle with learning a song chord chart wise
Mhm.
or by ear. I can listen and figure it out on my own,
Mhm.
but I don't have the motivation to do that whenever it's a song that has sheet music.
Yeah.
So it takes more motivation for me to learn that.
Okay.
So, but yeah, that's the difference to me.
Okay. Interesting. Did not know that.
So, I guess yeah, Katie Bressler versus me, but she has a lot more contemporary worked in because she's been playing for a long time and
Yeah.
and in a worship context as well.
Yeah. I will say Katie can do some crazy things.
She's crazy talented musically in general.
Yeah.
Like she doesn't play guitar. She does play guitar, not very often, but she plays piano
Yeah.
and sings beautifully.
She played piano and sang all summer.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, beautiful voice, great like range,
Yeah.
and then her fingers on the piano just
Mhm.
amazing.
And she can do both at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot of fun. I've only ever played piano and not sang at church, like serving on the worship team
Mhm.
once.
Mm.
And I really liked that because I was able to sit there and focus on my piano playing and not focus on trying to sing whatever harmony, which I don't have to focus too much on because I've been doing that for years and can
Mhm.
hear it pretty naturally. But it was nice just to sit and play piano
Yeah.
and like go with the flow of the music like that.
Yeah.
Where one of the pianists for the high school choir at the time came up to me after service and was like,
Mhm.
that phrasing, was that like, were you reading off of sheet music or was that improv? I was like, that was improv. And she goes,
Mm.
I'm impressed. How long have you been playing? I was like, at that time, it was like 2 years. And she goes, really?
Hmm.
Like she was impressed. Now, don't want that to sound like I'm not being humble.
Yeah.
But she was impressed, and I was like, wow, I have really grown in this gift that God has given me. And
Yeah.
I'm so grateful for that.
So, you mentioned while talking about how you got into piano, you mentioned like a baby grand.
Mm-hmm.
Could you explain like the different kinds of pianos and like
Yeah,
keys?
so off the top of my head, there are keyboards. There's MIDI controllers, which is
Yeah.
so keyboards in general. You have keyboards that have software built, like that have hardware, where that's just the keyboard that has set sounds, set things. You can't download or you can't upload anything else to them.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is on it and set. You turn it
Yeah.
on, you can play everything that's on there. MIDI controllers and stuff like that, those type of keyboards, those are software. I have
Yeah.
one, and you have to have a program on a computer open to be able to access
Mm-hmm.
with software downloaded on the computer, plugged into the MIDI controller to be able to get the sounds.
Yeah.
Which those are great for like trying to record things.
Mm-hmm.
It's just
So that's using more like plugins and stuff.
yeah.
Okay.
That's just a little. It's you have to pay for quite a bit
Mm-hmm.
for the subscriptions to that software.
Yeah.
To get good software.
Okay.
And then there's upright pianos. Those are the ones that you see in the practice rooms here.
Mhm.
If anyone's listening that doesn't know the context, those are the ones that just literally are vertical. There's no depth to them. It's not. It's like a wall of piano. Then there's baby grands and grands. Baby grands are essentially what they sound like. It's a grand piano, just smaller for space, and the sound quality is not as like it's not
Mm-hmm.
super like majestic or anything. I guess it still is, but it's like it's not going to be as loud or as impressive as a grand is going to be. The bigger the piano gets, the more sound you get from them because there's more string, there's more amplification, there's more I'm forgetting all the parts of a piano. Here you were last episode and you were talking about all the different parts and how an electric guitar works and everything. And here I am, I'm just like, I know how it works. I just can't articulate why.
Yeah.
But
I only know how to articulate it because I've had to explain it to a lot of people.
Yeah. That's
AKA
fair.
justifying why I'm purchasing this to my parents.
That's fair. But that also helps you understand how to play it. You don't have to understand how a piano works aside from you press key make noise.
Mm-hmm.
And noise is note.
Yeah.
Which, speaking of, did you know that with most keys, it's not just one string that the hammer hits?
Okay, so I realized this 2 days ago?
Mm-hmm.
No. I realized this Wednesday last week.
Yeah.
Because I was sitting in the choir room practicing my recital song for piano. And you can see the strings.
Yeah.
Is that a baby grand? Or is
I
that
think
a grand?
that's a grand.
Okay. And I'm like, wait, that's 2 strings. So, yeah.
Yeah. So
why is that?
it's just to make the sound more rich. Because it's not as rich of a sound if you're hitting basically a guitar string with a hammer. But this way there's multiple strings that it's hitting and it's a more solid contact, more rich sound.
And I'm sure it also plays into you can't get it fully in tune, like perfectly in tune.
Yeah. And I think it helps not knock it out of tune when the hammer hits it. Because you do that with a acoustic guitar, you hit a string enough, it's going to knock it out of tune pretty quick.
Yeah, especially if you have a very heavy right hand.
Yeah. So, that's why that's part of the reason too why there's 3. I don't know the full
3
reason.
strings.
Yeah. Some have 2, some have 3.
Oh, okay.
So the bass notes I think have 2.
Okay.
And then the higher it goes, at some point it moves to 3 strings. Because then once you push, so the right pedal is sustain.
Right pedal sustain. Middle is like a pad thing.
Middle.
It sustains one note.
Yeah, it's
like you push a note, then push that, and it doesn't drop the muter thing.
Yeah. And then the farthest left
is a
one,
softener.
The farthest left one, actually, you'll see it. It's really cool sometimes. You'll see all the keys shift.
Yes.
And that's because everything's moving from hitting 3 strings to 2 strings, making it a softer sound.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I noticed that the other day because I was just bored and started experimenting with stuff.
Yeah. I also get very protective of pianos. My choir teacher in high school they restored the grand piano that our high school has.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was not in great shape. Still played
Yeah.
well. It just cosmetically needed
Mm.
updated and restored, and as well as like it didn't sound as good
Mm-hmm.
until it was restored. And so they got it restored, and then the choir teacher that did that, she left after that year because she got another opportunity. And whenever she left, she was like, "Noah, you're going to be here for 2 more years. And this cost us so much money. I'm going to place you in charge of policing it, like while the band's in here,
Mm-hmm.
because the band had the same space as the choir and orchestra. And then like while theater is using it, like you protect it. Put the cover on it, put the do not set things on this table sign on it. And so the next year I did that. I made sure it had water in it because you have to there's a humidifier on them. I checked that every day. Like I protected that piano. And then my senior year, so we had a new choir director my junior year.
Mm-hmm.
She only lasted a year. She was not good.
Mm.
And then my senior year had a new choir director who's still there. And she would set stuff on it. Which I was like, okay, you set a folder on it. That's fine. I guess. But then like what did I see? There was one time since I graduated that I went back and visited. Maybe during like their select ensemble time,
Mm-hmm.
and somebody like one of the kids was like leaning on it a bunch, and I was policing it to where I was like, do not even lean on it, because any unnecessary wear and tear that we could put on it, the longer it lasts, the less we do that.
Mm.
So yeah, but at this point, I'm not there anymore. It's not necessarily my problem.
Mm-hmm. I will say,
But
don't go backstage in the sanctuary then.
oh no, I'm not. I was protective of that one because
Yeah.
other than that, really it's only little things such as like if I see people like putting a drink, I will be like, I won't say anything, but I will be aware of that drink. And if I see anybody
Mhm.
get close to that drink and almost knock it over, I'm going to crash out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very aware of how expensive pianos are, and like
Yeah.
grands and baby grands especially.
Mm-hmm.
Upright pianos, those get passed out left and right because people on Facebook Marketplace are like, "Hey, you want a free one? Here you go." I know that because Willie Third has had a free piano on their floor for the last like 10 years.
Yeah.
They'll
Well,
go get one every year.
Jimmy Riley,
Mm-hmm.
he has a upright in his room.
Oh, yeah, and so I'm not as protective as those.
Yeah.
With those, especially if I know how good or bad a quality it is.
Mm-hmm.
If it's a good quality one, I'll be a little bit more protective of it. But like, they're passed around all the time, so they're not going to be great quality. But grands and baby grands, those are super expensive and are very delicate.
Yeah.
You spill a drink or some sort of liquid into the body of that, and immediately the sound's going to be different. It stresses me out because these pianos that are here, that have humidifiers, are always blinking yellow, which means it needs water. And I'm like, we really need somebody to take care of these because it's not going to last near as long.
Yeah.
But I do appreciate here somebody says don't unplug the piano. Like that, it says it on the outlet. I'm like, thank you, because that's the humidifier.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I love pianos. and I'm very protective of 'em.
So, do you? I don't know if it's the same way with pianos, but like I know like drummers hate using electric kits. Do you hate using keyboards?
No, and here's why. So I love playing on a grand. I
Mhm.
love playing.
That's what Central City has, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
They have a baby grand.
Okay.
But I love playing on those. Great sound. But I know the importance of why keyboards exist, especially in a worship context.
Mm-hmm.
As long as it feels right, weighted keys versus non-weighted keys, you want weighted keys. And you can buy different sizes. I think a typical grand piano is 84
I thought it was 55.
keys, something. So we answered the question. It was, I think I counted 98 on a grand piano.
Okay.
So you can buy different sizes of keyboards.
Mm-hmm.
And what I prefer is maybe not that big because, let's be honest, you
You don't
only
use all 98.
you probably only use about 70 to 80. So my preference is like I think you can get an 80. I think 82 is the number of keys.
Okay.
I don't remember exactly, but somewhere around there.
Mm-hmm.
But also with a proper keyboard, like the Nords that we have up there,
Nord singular.
Nord, yes. You can get different sounds such
Mhm.
as an organ or pads or a normal grand piano or something like that. It's not as rich as a authentic acoustic sound
Mhm.
would be from a grand piano. But that's how it is with everything. It's a digital sound.
Mm-hmm.
It's how it is with electric guitars. A lot of the sounds are not what's actually coming off the string, because you're getting the ding,
Yeah.
but then the pickups are amplifying that and distorting that in whatever way.
That's not really the pickups that do that, but
Well, you know what I mean.
yeah. That's the
Um,
pedals and amp.
Right. It's not the authentic sound that's coming straight from the string like it is on
Mm.
an acoustic guitar. And same thing with piano and keyboards. It's not ever going like keyboards, there's no strings. You're
Mhm.
pressing a button. But it is necessary so you don't have to have a full organ, a full piano, a
Mhm.
whatever a pads instrument would look like, or you don't have to have an upright grand, baby grand, so you can get all those different sounds. You have all those sounds in one.
Yeah.
As beautiful as as an organ is, those things are not
Yeah.
movable.
They're also loud as crap.
That too. So this way, like I like keyboards and would prefer to lead whenever I'm a worship pastor. I'm gonna prefer to lead from a keyboard than a guitar.
Mhm.
Preferably sitting down. I did that for this last January for a church retreat.
Mhm. In
Me,
Louisiana?
yeah, the one in Louisiana.
Okay.
Took a group down there, and I led from piano. And I was like, oh, this might feel awkward because typically people lead with a guitar, but it didn't. I sat there and had the energy,
Mhm.
had the presence that I would have with an acoustic guitar, but I was more comfortable.
Yeah.
Because I'm not very comfortable with an acoustic guitar.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Also, since I'm sitting, I'm not focusing on my like I don't think about, oh, my knee is hurting, oh, my hip, like just being real. Like it when I'm standing there for a while, doesn't matter the shoes I'm wearing, plantar fasciitis will flare up.
Mm.
And whenever I'm sitting at a piano, it's a lot better as long as I have a comfy seat as well.
Yeah.
But like that's what I'm talking about. As I really prefer to lead with a keyboard. Because also just visually, a grand piano, if you don't have it set up right, will cover you up, or it's not covering you up, but you're not facing the congregation. Because if you have it facing straight towards the congregation, one, the sound's not going to be as good, and two, in order for the sound to be good enough in that case, you open it up, but that's covering up your face.
Yeah.
Hard to lead whenever that's happening. So you turn it, but you're facing away from the congregation or more diagonal towards them. So you're really just looking at like one corner of the congregation. So I would prefer to lead from a keyboard, but I do absolutely love just the sound of a authentic grand piano. Just so much more powerful to me because it's not digital. And then with the weighted versus unweighted, the weighted keys is going to feel like an actual piano.
Yeah.
The unweighted, it's a button. Like there's no acting like it's an actual piano. You're pressing a button. And there's no pushback, and so it's hard for you to be. Whenever I have grown used to how a piano feels, it's hard to play as fluidly because I'm trying to get used to the fact that there's no weight under my finger pushing back on my finger.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay.
Thank you guys so much for listening today. Again, we are the Sonic Blueprint. My name is Noah Martin, and this is
Ian Dodge.
And yeah, we might continue this podcast. We might not, but this was the last one for the assignment. So maybe see you guys next time, but a good chance of not. So thank you guys for listening to these 2 episodes. Technically, yeah, because we had the pilot and
2 episodes in pilot. Yeah.
And these 2. Thank you guys for listening, and we hope that we encourage y'all to make some music, because it truly is just it's a universal language, and learning how to use that language is way more important than learning how to speak a language, because it's a universal language that God created. He created sound, and created music that is associated with sound. We see that in the text all the time. So with that in mind, we hope that you guys are encouraged and have the motivation to create music in some way, whether you're tone deaf and you can't sing, or you have the most angelic voice of anybody on earth. There's still ways to make music. I know a lot of drummers who can't sing at all, but they're really good at drumming.
Way to throw the drummers under the bus.
I mean, I just say that because typically they're not going to be singing.
I know.
And then even pianists. I've seen pianists that do amazing things on piano, but they purposely don't sing because they know they can't sing. And so even if you are tone deaf or rhythmically challenged, there's still ways to make music, especially with all the technology we have. You don't even have to be able to play anything to make music. You can just you can use your creativity with, I don't know, now that AI is coming out, one of the things that is good with that is you can actually use your creativity to make music with AI. There's still a controversy there, but it makes ways for
I'm going to hold my
people.
opinions on that.
Yeah, I have my opinions too, but
I have strong opinions on that, but
yeah. But yeah, we hope you guys have been encouraged, and again, thank you so much for listening. We will see you guys sometime.